Hello and welcome to another video. So today we are out in the kitchen at Wellness Woodlands and we're going to look at making some campfire waffles. Now these ones are going to be dairy free because it's sometimes helpful. We have more of a vegan and dairy intolerant audience than ever before when we're running sessions and things, and it usually don't miss out very much, but I'll tell you how you can add milk in instead. So before we get started, just want to let you know I will pop the recipe for this in the description below, so don't worry too much about the making note of all the measurements and whatnot. I'll make sure that's available, and I'll also tell you how you can scale it up and roughly how many it makes. So first of all, we're going to need some plain flour. Now you can mix these dry ingredients ahead, and that's always a decent option if you're short on time. Do as much of the prep as possible. But if you have a bit more time, if you're out with a group for a whole day, or if you are out camping yourself with kids, then it may well just be worth spending a little bit of time doing it at the campsite. So we're going to start off with the dry ingredients. We're going to start off with 2 cups of flour, or 2 parts flour. I find it's good to have volumetric measurements when you are cooking outdoors, because it's a lot easier to bring a cup measure with you than a pair of scales. Then we are going to go with 1 tablespoon of sugar per cup of flour. Now you can probably reduce this if you don't want it quite as sweet, or if you want more of a savory waffle, because waffles can be both sweet and savory, just depends on the toppings and how much you throw into it. Okay, and then we'll have 1 tablespoon baking powder, and we'll go for about a quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon, somewhere around there, of salt. Salt is really good flavor enhancer. I've come around to putting a lot more salt in a lot of things, and it's just nice. It's kind of think salted caramel. It really brings out the flavor. So those are the main ingredients. So we've got the sugar, we've got the 2 cups flour, we've got the 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Next we're going to get the wet ingredients in. So we want eggs. Now you can get egg substitutes. I think O'Gran is one of the brands, and they work decently well, but it just gives it a really nice consistency. So we're going to go for 2 eggs, so one egg per cup of flour, part of flour. Okay, so beat the eggs, introduce them to the mixture. Now this particular recipe goes very heavy on the oil, so we're going to go for 1/3 to 1/2 cup of oil. Now this is kind of where you diverge from a regular pancake batter, because waffles tend to be a lot more oily, and if we're cooking on the campfire, I usually want to go heavier on the oil than I normally would at home. Because of the high heat, we want to minimize the chances of it sticking. So that was 1/3 to 1/2 cup of oil, and we are going to do 1 3/4 cups water. Now if you're okay with milk, you can substitute this, and you can, if you're using milk, reduce the oil just a little bit. Now if you have a whisk, that's always a little bit handier. Using a spoon or fork, it helps break up clumps better. But in general, what we're looking for from the mixture is a very stiff batter. We don't want kind of pancake cream consistency coming off. We want quite a thick batter, because otherwise it'll just disappear out from the edges of our waffle irons. make sure I've got everything. Another thing you can add in is 1/4 teaspoon or somewhere around there of vanilla essence. As I said, if you're going savory, this is completely optional, and I'm just going to eyeball it. You can tell this is me baking, particularly outdoors. I'm not usually one for precise measurements. So if we look at the batter currently, it's quite runny. So we're going to just pop a little bit more flour in just to thicken it up. And this is kind of, as I was just saying, doing it by eye rather than looking at getting everything perfect. There we go. And we're going to go just for a little bit more flour. Say you wanted quite a thick batter. Now all of this could well be happening while the fire's on and we've got the irons starting to heat up, because you want to preheat your waffle irons before you put the batter in. So if you have a bigger crew and you've got an assistant who can, say, work on getting the mixture done with some of the kids, whilst another group light the fire and prepare the irons, then that's a lot more helpful to get things moving quickly. But as it's just me, we're going to have to head over there separately. So here we are, I've got the fire going and I've got my 2 waffle irons on the go. And this is the bit that you're going to maybe need to make a bit of an investment in, because these waffle irons are somewhat specialist. It's hard to make waffles without a waffle iron. So the 2 that I've been using most often, this one here is a generic Amazon waffle iron. Make sure you get cast iron whenever you are looking at it. I don't rate the cast aluminium ones very well at all. And then this one here is a Petromax brand waffle iron. And after using both of them extensively, I'm still not sure which one I would personally recommend. I've been very happy with the Amazon one. It is reasonably cheap, it is compact, and it's worked quite well. Petromax one, it's a little bit pricey, but the long handles are nice to have for moving it around on the fire, because these handles don't get as hot, but you're looking at almost double the price. And if you're buying a whole set of irons, then that means you're going to get double as many. So maybe if I really was pushed to make a recommendation, I'd go for one of these generic Amazon ones. I'll see if I can find the particular one that I bought and put a link in the description for that. But you want good solid cast iron from waffle makers, and make sure that they are suitable for a fire and they're not going to melt or have non-stick coatings that then end up smoking everyone out, because the heat is different. Anyway, I've got quite a hot fire going underneath. Say as soon as you get that fire going, just pop them straight on. You want to start adding the heat, and this is one of the reasons why cast iron is such a fantastic tool for campfires, is because it'll absorb a lot of that heat and they'll re-radiate it later. So it smooths that curve. So at the start of the fire, we start off very cold because we don't have fire. Then we get that initial ignition and we get a whole burst of heat, and we want to get all of that into the cast iron so that when the heat starts to decline, we then have that heat within the cast iron that will re-radiate out afterwards. So I'm just going to keep an eye on these. Just go looking for a little bit of smoking with the oil that was oil residue that was left in there from before, because we want to get them nice and toasty. Okay, so by the looks of it, the waffle irons are heating up nicely. Now you can take these off the fire to get them oiled, but I'm just going to do this on top here because I don't really have a lot of camp furniture here. So before every waffle, you need to coat the waffle irons quite substantially with oil. So take a little brush, a little pot of oil, and you just go work your way into all of the little cracks and crevices. Now this is a good tip for gauging heat in terms of cast iron, is seeing how oil reacts to the surface. If you don't have a temperature probe or gun with you, then just dropping a little bit of oil onto something, or a little bit of water, will help you gauge. Watching the reaction will help you gauge how much heat is it. If it immediately starts smoking, then you know you've got a lot of heat in there. And if it's quite runny, then you know you're kind of medium heat. If it doesn't move at all, then you're probably frozen. That's a little too cool. So because there's so many cracks and crevices in one of these waffle pans, you really want to make sure you get into all of the little corners, because any of those have the potential to cause a sticking problem. Well, if we get, I don't know whether you heard that over the audio, there's a little kind of crackle from the oil. That tells me that we are more than hot enough on this side, so I may well swap them over or rearrange the fire underneath, because that is quite decently hot. You can see it's starting to smoke. So this one can even cool down a little bit. With any fire cooking, it's worth moving things around often, making sure that you get even heat to each thing, to each cooking pot or implement. Just rest that on the side there. Right, so we are probably ready to get the waffle mixture in. So just going to go for a nice thick ladle right into the center. And I'm judging that we may well need a little bit more. We want it slowly spreading to the outside. It'll start to fill the gaps when it rises. So we don't need it full to the top. And you can also tell which direction the slope is running. So we've got all the mixture coming down this far side here. Pop it on. Given the heat of this fire, I'm going to keep these turning frequently while I get the other one loaded up. Now that I've got both stabilized, I'm just going to keep on flipping them. Once you've given them about a minute, then you can gently open up and you should get a good indication of whether they're done. So you want them nice and golden, crispy on the outside. So on this particular one here, I'd say it's looking done on that side, so I'm just going to give it a little bit longer on the other side. Don't be afraid to move it to a cooler area of the fire for a little bit. See, that one's looking pretty good. Should be there soon. Depending on the heat of the campfire, how close you are to the embers and so on, will dictate how long it takes, from about 3 to 5 minutes, but I have had them take longer in some cases. Just worth keeping an eye on it, giving a little bit of a tap with the fork so I can tell that side needs a little bit more. So opening it up, this one needed a little bit of persuading with a fork to release it, and we got a little bit crispy on this side, but it's hard to gauge these things. And don't worry if one or two don't turn out quite according to plan. Hopefully, if you catch them soon enough, they won't end up with burnt edges, but it's always an iterative process going, okay, that was a little bit hot. We'll go cooler for the next bunch. You may not always turn out the most perfect waffles on the campfire because of the variable temperature and how long is a piece of string, and chances are you'll have many distractions. So being okay with slightly misshapen ones with a little bit of crispy edges is a good thing too. But hopefully this has inspired you to have a go, grab yourself some waffle irons and give it a go creating some campfire waffles. They do go down very well in all weathers and for all ages as well. So there you go. Let's say big thank you to Wellness Woodlands who made this possible. I've been really enjoying adding to the cooking playlist on YouTube at this beautiful site. So I'll leave a link down in the description if you'd also like to visit and spend some time here, because it's really peaceful at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to make the most of every day. I'll catch you all next time.